Hey you guys, and welcome to Medieval Engineers. We are going to go over the latest patch. I think it's patch 0.6 here in the early access stage of this wonderful game. And they added quite a lot of new features that we've been kind of waiting for here for about a year. Or maybe longer. So I'm going to go over a few. I'm not going to go over exactly everything. I'm going to try and keep this a little shorter and sweeter. And as you can see, the landscape is looking a little more barren. They've added a lot of new biomes and things like that on the map. So if we actually bring up our map here, you guys can see that currently we're in the steppes. There is like taiga regions, there's grassy plain regions, and you can see on the globe how it kind of makes everything layered nicely here across the way. There's also a nice dry, completely desert region. So it's basically like the steppes, but more flat and things like that. And then in the north, you get a northern kind of snowy area. And then, of course, the South Pole has kind of the same thing. So they're really adding a lot more variation in the terrain. So you guys can kind of theme items to fit exactly where you have it. This is the new steppe kind of region, and as I was just in Arizona not too long ago, it makes me think of being over there. You know, there's some grass, but you'll notice that there's hardly any trees in these areas, and that's going to make it hard to live here. You almost have to start maybe trading with other areas that are more abundant with trees so that you are able to survive in such an environment. Or maybe you're going to be switching to a lot more stone structures early on rather than wooden structures. It's going to be an interesting thing. They have some unique features, of course. You know, there's the occasional kind of pathway going underneath these rock archways, and things are looking pretty good in the overall area. As you can see, it just becomes basically an endless sea of steps and rolling hills and sand. Off in the distance you can kind of see snowy capped mountains. We're not going to go over there. We are going to go look at another one of the new regions. I think this is the taiga region. And it's essentially kind of that southern mountainy area that you're probably used to that transitions into more of a colder climate. And we have built something in this valley over here. I don't know if you guys can see it yet. And this is going to highlight pretty much a lot of the new features that are being added here in this update. And that is mechanical blocks. And mechanical blocks means, look at that, we have a functional windmill. It's finally here. They have been teasing us with mechanical blocks since the first trailer of Medieval Engineers, and here we are finally getting some cool utility stuff. Now, some of it isn't working quite right in this build that I'm currently using. It could be already fixed by the time this video gets up, so not everything's going to be quite 100% accurate in this first coverage video, but when we live stream this with everyone, hopefully some things get worked out. So you can see I built a kind of rough little encampment. I didn't bother planning like a field or anything like that. You know, we are in creative mode, so it's not like I need to survive per se, but yeah, so this is our little windmill. It's not a pivoting design by any means. There is no wind direction, so you don't really have to worry about that too much. And attached onto here are little workstations. So this is kind of a workshop package, you could say. And let's go ahead and look at some of these new items they've added to the game. Number one, they've added a tannery. So you can tan hides and vellum, and these can be used to craft different things that they've added into the game here recently. You can see there's also a new item here in the mill, the basic mill, you know, linseed oil from flax seeds. And linseed oil is used a lot in these mechanical things that I'm about to show you over here. And this is kind of the bulk of the update. You can see it looks rather impressive and pretty proper. We have a lot of things going on, really. You can see this thing going up and down here. This is the Sawmill attachment. It's a little dark, so hold on. Let me just do this. I'll hold a torch for a little bit. So this is the sawmill. It doesn't have the saw blade attached to it at the moment. For some reason, currently, it's not letting me build it. So I can't attach the sawmill blade on here. But there's two different blades, just like there's two different millstones for the grain mill. So the blades, I'm assuming, if it's going to work like the stones, is one's probably for square timbers and one is for round timber planks. And they're pretty straightforward UI. So this is, you know, where you put your logs that you're going to craft down, and this is the tool head attachment. So whether you want round planks or squared off planks. Other than that, if we head up a level, you can see I attached above here a millstone. And this thing is using the coarse millstone tool head. For some reason, it's not letting me build the smooth one, but that's fine. The coarse one, though, crafts flour from wheat straws, and it does it fairly quickly. So if you guys want to automate your process of just bulk, you know, creating items, this is going to be a great way to do it. Especially for a lot of people who have automated farms. I have a feeling they're going to love the fact that they can just dump all their wheat in here and just leave it, and then just check back later without having to use the manual grindstone. Now, you guys are probably looking at this contraption and wondering how this thing works, and it's pretty straightforward. So what you have is, this is the windmill blades. All right, you can see the windmill blades that we originally had are these items over here. Now, these are actually just components to make this, but they kept it a block that we could place down wherever we want, which is great because, you know, we use it a lot for roofing, or at least I do. I know a lot of other people did as well back in the day. So I'm just happy they were able to keep that as a buildable block there. But once you have enough and you have enough timber, you can kind of craft our nice windmill here. And this attaches right onto some of these new work items. So you can see these are the new models for the mechanical blocks. They're different from like the round timbers and catch blocks. They do different things. So the mechanical blocks, I think, are more specialized towards the simple fact of this is for refining. It's very specialized. And then the catch blocks is something that we can make to do something maybe a little bit more broad and utilitarian, like making doors or wheels. So here we have a horizontal piece. All right. And then this piece here is a horizontal to vertical piece. All right, so that's going to translate this horizontal kind of movement into more of a vertical rotation. If we hop down here, this is a vertical to horizontal and still vertical kind of piece. So there's some variations that you guys can do to get a whole assortment of angles and ways to fit all these things together. And right now it's very intuitive on how you do it. So we have this kind of vertical split here, and the vertical split comes straight into our mill. All right, and then it stops. So that's essentially its first pass. Now we have this split that comes off to the side and comes vertically again into another vertical split that then powers our sawmill from the side. So you can see you can stack these things on top of each other. You can kind of route the energy how you want them. There's other blocks here that I'm not quite showing. Things like mechanical joints for horizontals. You got more joints upwards, and definitely more split variations that I'm covering in this basic contraption here. I'm pretty excited to see kind of designs people can come up with kind of based in the game. Let me turn off our torch. I think we're fine now. So other than that, there are some new resources and things in our base crafting. So I added this little crafting room off to the side. It's very small and generic, but you'll see here in the crafting table, we have access to the new kind of saw blades and the millstone variants. Again, sadly, it's just not letting me craft. It'll complete and then just not finish. That'll hopefully be fixed by the time you guys get the hands on the update, but it's kind of far down the tech tree enough that you're probably not going to get to these things in the first sitting anyways. So yeah, so that's kind of a new thing there. And you will also notice, I don't think it's in this one, is the new kind of blacksmith station. So this is an updated one. So you still have the basic one, which allows you to craft kind of basic tools and things, but this one allows you to craft all the tools and all the variations that they've added. So they've added resources for copper, tin. And then if you combine tin and copper, you can make bronze and make bronze weapons and tools. You can then make iron, and then you can make steel, bronze. Yeah, so there's 4 types of materials now for all your weapons and tools. They have different durabilities. I'm sure they perform differently as well. So I'm pretty excited about that. More variation in the tools, always good to see that kind of progression kind of persist downwards. This is another new item. This is the kiln. The kiln is used to make clay jars, which we need for the linseed oil. And then roof tiles. So roof tiles for the kind of more ceramic roofs that we have in the game is probably going to be a base crafting ingredient for that. And yeah, that's kind of the rough rundown of the new resources. If we come over here, I kind of dug down a little bit to show you guys how the terrain is a little bit different now. So initially it was basically dirt almost all the way through, and now it goes dirt, and then a little bit beneath the dirt you can see this color shift, right? So all of this here is clay. All right, so clay is the new layer beneath dirt, and then if you keep going deep enough, it's pretty far down here. I was really surprised, but there is a complete stone layer. So you can make giant quarries and dig out stone locally if that's something you want to do. It was probably always there, but in our survival series, I just never bothered digging that far down. Like, that is really, really far. So it's good to know that it's there. You guys can make hopefully some cool mechanical structures, get the stone and clay out, and then go ahead and start building structures like this. And yeah, I'm just pretty excited about the update in general. Hopefully they keep adding more and more utility blocks like this, and hopefully you guys' feedback will push them to bring back some of the older features that were kind of removed. I'm still a little bit miffed of the building system's quite not up to where it needs to be compared to how it was back when we first played. I still can't do a lot of building combinations, which is really frustrating. But hey, that's kind of where we are with Medieval Engineers at this point. I'm just happy to get an update, you know. Space Engineers was also updated recently. You guys have been watching the live streams there, and we've been messing with that, and you guys have been joining the server, which has been a lot of fun to play with this. And with this new update and these new biomes added to the planets, hopefully we can start this up again. You guys are welcome to join the public server when we stream, and hopefully we can build a kingdom together, or possibly against each other. So I think that's it. If you guys enjoyed the video, feel free to subscribe to my channel for more creative goodness such as this. Go ahead and hit that like button, helps out the channel a lot. Leave a comment on what you guys want to see next, and until then, I'll see you guys in some more games.